So we're back with our girl, Sydney Sweeney, who is once again pissing off the left because she refuses to apologize for being white. She refuses to acknowledge that that Gene commercial was secretly and subtly about, eugenics and blah, 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 and all that. So she's sitting down with a person from GQ. Now, remember when the left was saying that, oh, this is just a right-wing conspiracy. No one actually cares about that, all the outrage. It's just made up. But yet they have GQ sitting down with her, basically trying to get her to apologize for being a white supremacist. But I thought no one cared. But we have this great meme right here. This is like the Anakin Padme type meme. I have great genes. You mean great genes, right? You mean great genes, right? No, no, but in yellow. So she's pissing people off, the right people, the left, because she refuses to back down. She's not going to apologize for an ad that had nothing to do with white supremacy or eugenics. It was a gene commercial that had a play on words, genes, meaning genetics, and genes, what she was advertising. There was no subtle, thing of, oh, you're talking about white supremacy. No. Why should she apologize for, trying to get people to apologize for this shit? Maybe 4 years, for the last 4 years, maybe people would have cared. But these people on the left have overused words so much, they no longer have meaning. And because she refuses to disavow the white supremacy undertones of her, and that's in quotations, because there is no white supremacy undertones. Because she refuses to, disavow it, it's like, oh, that makes her a Nazi. That makes her a white supremacist. These people are so fucking retarded and narrow-minded. And I said this in a video earlier. These are the kinds of people who are like, oh, well, do you stand with Palestine? No, I don't. Oh, so you must stand with Israel. They can't fathom that maybe people don't care about either one. If people were to ask me, oh, do you support Palestine? No. Oh, so you support Israel? No. Fuck them both. Do you like cats or dogs? Well, I prefer cats. Oh, so you hate dogs. It's like that. They can't fathom that people just don't want to be bothered with it. Do you prefer waffles or pancakes? I prefer waffles. Oh, so you're saying you don't like pancakes? No, I'm saying I prefer waffles. I like pancakes. I just prefer waffles. They're so narrow-minded. So her trying to get her to disavow it, but then when she doesn't, it's like, oh, that makes her a Nazi. That makes her a white supremacist. No, maybe you're just fucking retarded and not everything is political. It was a jeans ad with a play on words of, great genes, as in jeans that she's wearing, and genes, genetics. It had nothing to do with white supremacy. But people on the left, everything's got to be about politics. Everything's racist, homophobic, transphobic, this, that. So, but we're going to watch the entire thing. And this person right here who's doing the interview, she's gone into hiding. She's privated all her accounts. I wonder why. Maybe because you tried to get this woman to buckle, get her to buckle and get her to, bend the knee, and you didn't. The whole point of getting her on here, she didn't do. And you're the one who ended up looking like a fucking dumbass. So, 19 minutes, basically just to try to get her to, oh, do you feel bad about the white supremacy of the Gene commercial? And are you ready to disavow that right now? But 20 minutes, here we go.
18-year-old girl, like, what does fighting give you at that time in your life?
The element of surprise.
Ooh.
You guys see the great boots, great shoes too, Cap.
I know.
Thanks.
We pulled through in the shoe game.
Strong shoe game.
I usually show up in my PJs. For whatever reason, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just actually get dressed. And then everyone liked the outfit. I was like, wow, this is the first time.
I I'm so flattered. Okay, so we're good? Okay, whoa, we're going.
We're going.
Okay. I feel really lucky to be talking to you right now in particular because you're a producer with a film with festival buzz. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How does it feel to have Christy out in the world?
Okay, so this woman right here, like nothing she says sounds real genuine. Again, this is really just to get her on the show to do this interview, just to try to make her feel bad about a Gene commercial. So she's got to play nice and trying to, and leading up to that, but nothing this woman says sounds genuine at all. And goddamn, I just realized how large my fucking hands are. I mean, I know they're fucking huge, but now that I'm seeing them like this, very large hands. You know who doesn't have large hands? Donald Trump. He has to hold a water bottle with both hands because they're so small. And I like the guy, and I'm making fun of his hands. See how easy that is? Even when you like a person, you can still make fun of them. But I was like, Jesus Christ, my hand. So I'm not like fucking most Italians waving my hands around all over the place. But you're Italian? Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. I had a lot of that in my childhood. Fungul.
Christy is one of those projects and stories that, like, when you're making it, the crew, the cast, everyone involved, we all knew it was going to be something special. We had Christy with us on set many days. We would sometimes just like cry because of how powerful the story is. And so being able to share that experience with the world and to be able to show Christy's story to the world is so impactful. And I'm beyond honored and proud that we were able to bring this story to life.
In the beginning, it's also really fun. For context, like you've got headgear on.
Yes.
You've got a mouth guard in.
Yes.
And you are grinning as you punch people.
Mm-hmm.
And you look completely unselfconscious and completely joyful. First of all, was it as much fun as it looked?
It was so much fun. I was over the moon.
Wow, this girl really has a smile that can light up the room. Now the other girl, that fucking Cali girl, I lived in California, so I'm really used to like people talking like this, and it was like really annoying. I did been there, done that. See, I've been to California. I lived there for almost 10 years on a military base, so I'm used to people really like, oh my god, and it's like hella cool. That's what they said there, hella or hecka. When you were younger, you would say hecka. When you were older, you would say hella. It was like hella cool, and it's like, I bet it was like really like super fun, like funsies. But and then you have Sydney Sweeney here, who's just very down to earth, it seems, and not much of an accent anywhere. I don't know where she was born or whatever, but yeah, but her eyes, she doesn't seem to have a whole lot of makeup on here. But her smile, that's like a smile that lights up the room. You see her smile and you're like, hi, Sydney. But the fucking Cali girl voice, having to hear that for 20 minutes. Like, oh my god, that like sounds like so fun. Was it really fun for you? Because it seemed like it was really fun to do. Like, it was hella cool.
Felt like I finally came to life myself through Christy. We really shaped every single fight to match Christy's fights. And so all the different combos that you see me doing are the actual combos from the fights. And I had the best girls to box with because they were down to actually fight. And we would do full contact. We were punching each other in the face. And So a lot of those reactions are me as Christy, but also me just like couldn't believe that I actually did it just then.
So you have a background in martial arts.
I do.
Okay, so tell me about that. You're what, 13?
Yeah, I was like 12, 13, and I started kickboxing and grappling. And I trained at Gokor Hayastan with Sensei Jean LaBelle and Benny Leggett in Gokor. And I did that from 12, 13 years old until I was about 19. And then.
And she does martial arts? Oh, God. I don't think my boxers can contain. Is there anything that's going to make me hate this woman now? People say the perfect woman doesn't exist. Sticks it to the left, does martial arts, seems to be pretty down to earth, got that smile that lights up the room. She likes to fix cars. Like, this is, you know, you're wearing jeans and it's like pressing hard against the fucking jeans to the point it hurts. That is what we're at right now.
I booked Handmaid's Tale and Euphoria, and I was like, oh, I can't fight and film at the same time because I'd come home with bruises. So I put it to the side, but I always wanted to find a story that would be able to bring that side of myself out.
But you're a 13-year-old girl. Like, what does fighting give you at that time in your life?
The element of surprise.
Ooh.
I was the only girl there. So it was a lot of talk of, oh, what is she doing here? The dads were kind of a little like upset that their sons would be fighting a girl. And then I would sometimes win.
Okay, so I have this sense that you're someone who keeps a strong division between your characters and your personal self. And I just wondered if that is harder when you've done this physical transformation for a character like Christy. Like, you come home or come back to your hotel room, like, in her body in some ways.
I actually learned so much more about myself throughout the process. And I am someone who I build my book for my character and I learn everything about her life so that I can fully jump in and out. And throughout that process of building Christy and working with Christy and filming the movie, I started realizing, I was like, oh, wow, I actually have more in common with her than I realized. She is fighting a fight in her home life and she's also fighting a fight in the public. And I think that for me, I find myself in a lot of battles, both in front and not in front of the world. So
sounds like she's for female empowerment, about being a strong, independent, fierce female, which that's what the left's all about. So, I mean, check for that. You know, white supremacists don't like strong females, you know? They hate women, remember? We hate women. If you're on the right, you fucking hate women. I hate her so much that... no. But yeah, she seems to want to portray strong, powerful females. That's not something white supremacy stands for. So... I mean, like, if she stood up for whites, strong, powerful females, had like a black fucking boyfriend, adopted a fucking Latino child, and did all this other shit, just because she doesn't disavow something, it's like, oh, she's a white supremacist. I'm not saying she has a black boyfriend or an adopted Latino child. I'm just saying she could check every single box for these people, and they would still call her white supremacist because, like, oh, well, you refuse to disavow it. It's like, oh, I don't want to get political. Just because I don't disavow it doesn't mean I support it. I mean, it's a fucking jeans commercial. You guys are looking too hard into a jeans commercial. A jeans commercial made by a company that when you go into the store, all over the store, there's very much diversity. You have black models being used. You have brown models being used. You have white models being used. You have all size and shape models being used. But because they chose her to do a commercial, they're like, oh my God, white supremacy is running rampant. You know, so, these people don't have fucking common sense. They can know all the biggest fancy words that they want. They can have as many degrees as they want. But if they're lacking common sense, critical thinking, and logic, all that stuff doesn't do much for them.
I definitely can relate.
I mean, Christy is a story about domestic violence and specifically like homophobia in domestic violence, and The Housemaid, which I also saw.
So she's starring in a movie that's about homophobia and domestic violence. A white supremacist wouldn't be starring in a movie about homophobia and domestic violence. Again, do these people even think about it? It's like with Dave Chappelle when he was talking about Juicy Smoothie. They're like, if you're fucking homophobic, you ain't even gonna be watching Empire. Like, do these people think about what they say before they say it? Because again, she refuses to disavow something, so she must be that thing.
Takes on domestic violence from in a totally different genre. And then I did read that your American Eagle collection benefited a domestic violence charity. Is that, did I have all that right?
Yes.
Okay. We spent a lot of time this year working around that issue, and I just wondered if it meant something to you.
It does. I will always speak out about something that is important to me. And for me to speak out, I use art. And I think that through my characters in my movies, it's a way for me to be able to do my part that I can and spread awareness in different ways through my characters. And that's how I've always learned to communicate. And it's really important.
If I look at your IMDb page,
Okay.
I'm thinking about, you know, you're on Euphoria, which is a show that covers a lot of topics without, you know, taking a moral stance on any of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you did Reality, which I love, which like brought a lot of attention and humanity to the story of Reality Winner, the whistleblower. It does not look like a very political career, but you have become very swept up in politics. And so I wondered if that has...
No, she really hasn't. But the people who have swept her up into politics are the people like you. The ones who want to claim that she's a white supremacist because she starred in a fucking commercial talking about having gray jeans. You people are the ones who swept her into this fucking world. The political spectrum of it. She's just living her life, okay? You know, she did the commercials, which, you know, a large portion of the proceedings went to funding domestic abuse, you know, kind of charities and this and that. So she clearly has a good heart. Remember, white supremacists are domestic abusers. Remember, we hit our wives. And why would a white supremacist be doing something to donate to charities for that kind of, for people who have suffered that? Seriously, do you people think about what you say before you fucking say it?
Surprised you as you put your ideas and yourself into art, not commentary?
I've always believed that I'm not here to tell people what to think. I'm just here to kind of open their eyes to different ideas. And so I think that's why I gravitate towards characters and stories that are complicated and are maybe morally questionable, and characters that are on the page hard to like, but then you find the humanity underneath them. And that's what I've always leaned towards.
I think a lot of people feel like it's better for art if artists can keep themselves a little bit separate from politics.
Yeah, I've never talked about my personal life.
I know. So what I'm going to do is talk about your year as a phenomenon in the culture. Okay. And a big thing that happened to you this year is that you ended your engagement, and I got push notifications about it. And we all sort of looked up and we're like, oh, Sydney Sweeney isn't just a talented actress and an up and coming producer. She's someone that people are really obsessed with and really fascinated by.
Oh man.
I know. And I wondered, did your sense of your own fame change this year?
No. I surround myself with a really, really strong group of people who have been in my life since I was little. And they take me out of Hollywood, take me out of this bubble, and remind me what the real world is, and that that's where I exist. The idea of fame, it doesn't apply to my personal life. I'm just sad.
You can't feel the difference in the volume at times.
If I turn on my phone, yes. If I have my phone off and I'm home, no.
Right. Okay.
That's beautiful. Like, I can see why people like this girl so much. Like, I really didn't know about Sydney Sweeney until this whole freaking American Eagle thing. But listening to her, she's like, so she's like, oh, what about your fame and this and that? She's like, well, if I look at my phone, then yeah, I know about it. But if I'm not sitting there looking at my phone, I just feel like me. You know, I feel like just a regular everyday person. And, you know, she's not surrounding her people with, you know, high society. She's surrounding herself with people she's known her entire life, friends, family, who aren't the elite. You know, again, she likes to work on cars. So to see someone so young, so level-headed, and so genuine is, especially in Hollywood, is very refreshing. You see all these freaking young actors and actresses who are always trying to make a political fucking statement, despite the fact that they have no idea how the real world actually works. You have them telling you how to vote, how to live, when the policies they push for would fuck over people who aren't like them. So while they're living in their safe, guarded communities, you know, gated communities, able to live and survive when prices are going up, other people aren't. It's like, oh yeah, vote for this person. Why? They're gonna fuck us over. They're gonna fuck us. You may be fine in your nice little gated community and be able to afford things when prices get raised, but I can't. You know, these people were pushing for $30 an hour. Yeah, that's great. If you can afford $15 for a fucking burger, that's great on you. Normal people can't do that. But just the fact that she seems so genuine and down to earth. I mean, if we could take her and clone her and just get rid of all the other people, that would be great. Because we need more people like Sydney Sweeney. People who, like, I'm not apologizing for anything that I said. People who are like, yeah, I don't let the fame get to me because I have people in my life who aren't rich and famous, who are just normal people. I like to do things like fix cars. I do martial arts and this and that. You know, we need more people like her. And it almost seems like these answers, she wants to, you know, she's replying to them in such a way, in a certain way, but it seems like this girl not caring about politics is actually pissing her off. Because these people, their entire purpose, their entire personality is politics. And to hear that someone doesn't care about them, or express them, or talk about them in the same way they do, it's pissing her off. Like, you can see almost when Sydney's talking about it, you can see her face kind of contort to almost a frown. She's pissed off that Sydney Sweeney isn't obsessed with politics as she is.
Okay, so what is it like now being single? Are you single?
I'm single.
Okay, you're single. You are out there now as a person who has a lot of power, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Person who people are obsessed with, and someone who I gather is like really, really focused on their work.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder, how does that change what you're looking for?
I don't think I'm looking for a man right now. What I've learned this year is that I have a really, really amazing group of girlfriends, and I am strong and independent, and that I'm gonna be okay.
And she used leftist buzzwords, and she's considered a white supremacist. But she's doing another thing where, you know, she's happy just being by herself. I've said this before. You don't need, if you feel like you don't need some, like, if you don't want to date, don't feel the need to do it just because other people are telling you to. You can be single and still be happy. As long as you have friends, you're never alone. So she has a group of girlfriends where, you know, even if she's single, she's never truly alone. So as long as you have that support, if you stay single, even your entire life, as long as you have that kind of support, you're never alone and you can still have a good, happy life. This whole idea that, oh, you need to be married or be dating someone, especially in Hollywood, it's ridiculous. But she's like, I'm a strong, independent female. She's not saying, oh, I don't need no man. She's just saying, I'm happy being single right now. I've got girlfriends to support me. You know, if it happens, it happens. Clearly, she likes dating, and men. But, you know, she broke off an engagement. So it's not like, oh, I hate men. Just, no, I'm just not ready. I'm not ready. Again, she's strong, independent, and doesn't bow down to them, which is pissing them off.
If love finds me, love finds me. I'm hopeless romantic, so I hope love finds me. But I'm not the type of person that wants to go out all the time. And I do believe in like true love and wanting to be with someone for the rest of my life. So I'm not gonna, you won't see me jumping around a lot of places.
Wait, jumping around a lot of places, like
guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are making Anyone But You, and there's sort of, what do we call it, like a game almost with sort of letting rumors build about you and Glenn, and we all now know that was a projection, let's say, on our parts. That wasn't real. But it occurred to me that maybe that story doesn't go so viral if you're not a very private person. I imagine there are personal benefits to being private about your personal life. But are there also professional benefits to being private about your personal life?
The professional benefits for me and being private is for my own just health and sanity. If I let everybody in all the time, I have nothing for myself. And I am just a 27-year-old, or I'm 28 now. I turned 28 yesterday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. But I'm just a 28-year-old woman who's trying to figure it out. And I'm still learning, and I'm going to make mistakes, and I'm going to grow. And I think that it's important to be able to do that without having to say every single thing all the time.
Right. Okay. But so you're never tempted to just like open your notes app and say, this is what I really think, and this is who I am, and this is what's going on in my life, and like stop guessing and projecting?
I mean, I'll vent to my girlfriends, but
Okay.
other than that, no.
No. Okay. That's honestly really impressive. Like,
I know who I am.
right.
I know what I value. I know that I'm a kind person. I know that I love a lot. And I know that I'm just excited to see what happens next. And so I don't really let other people define who I am.
I'm happy to hear that. I love secondhand concern for you lately.
Thank you.
We're sort of talking around this American Eagle ad right now, and maybe we should just talk about it. So, were you surprised by the reaction?
I did a jean ad. I mean, the reaction definitely was a surprise, but it was, I love jeans. All I wear are jeans. I'm literally in jeans and a t-shirt like every day of my life.
Jeans are uncontroversial. Jeans are awesome.
Yeah, I like your jeans.
You look great in your jeans. I think I know how you're going to answer this, but I'm going to ask anyway. I mean, the president tweeted about the jeans ad, or Truth Socialed about the jeans ad, and that just seems to me like a very crazy moment for anyone. And I wondered what that was like.
It was surreal.
It was
I mean, when the president starts tweeting about you, you know you've made it big, regardless of what president it is. If you're being acknowledged by the president. So he did a Trump did post on Truth Social. Basically, a rundown of it was Sydney Sweeney is a very strong, independent, beautiful young woman. I would love to stick my mushroom-sized penis in her. Something along those lines. I'm kidding. He didn't say that. No, but he does acknowledge, like, oh yeah, you know, great actress. She's going places, that kind of thing. But see, you can make fun of someone, but still like them. I still like Trump, but I have no problem making fun of him. See how easy that is, left? See how easy that is? You guys are afraid to make fun of people on your side. I have no problem doing it. It's very small hands. Not like mine. Mine are fucking Shrek hands. Very small hands. I need both hands to hold my water bottle. Unlike my water bottle, which is like fucking, you know, comedic size. And I mean, even look at this. Even look how fucking massive my fucking hands are. Like him, he would have to like hold it as much as possible. But me, I can, and I hold it like this when I'm filling it up. And this thing is pretty kind of pretty heavy. And I'm holding it, and it just gets heavier and heavier, and I'm just, but look at this. Look how big my fucking hand is. Like look at that shit. Trump's hands are like, where's a good, like the size of like your phone. Very small. Very small. My penis is just as small. Looks like a mushroom sprouting in the autumn. Leaves all around. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now.
True. Mm-hmm. And it would be totally human. I would probably feel like thankful that somebody had my back in public, you know, and conveniently some very powerful people had my back in public. And I wondered if you felt that way.
I don't think that it's not that that feeling I didn't have that feeling, but I wasn't thinking of it like that, or like of any of it. I kind of just put my phone away. I was filming every day. I'm filming Euphoria, so I'm working like 16-hour days, and I don't really bring my phone on set, so I work and then I go home and I go to sleep. So I didn't really see a lot of it.
You've made a really good case for keeping your thoughts and your life separate from that work. But the risk is that, you know, there's a chance that somebody will get some idea about what you think about certain issues and feel like, I don't want to see Christy because of that. Like, do you worry about that?
No. If somebody is closed off because of something they read online to a powerful story like Christy, then I hope something else can open their eyes to being open to art and being open to learning. And I'm not gonna be affected by that.
Yeah. You've come here like really willing to talk about this whole discourse that doesn't have that much to do with you, and I'm grateful for that. Is there something that you want to say about the ad itself? The Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Do you have...
The ad spoke for itself.
You think the ad spoke for itself?
Yeah.
Okay. And the criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just want
Again, it's just a play on words. And American Eagle in their stores, they have black people up on the walls, not actual black people, but the models, you know, pictures of the models wearing the jeans. They've got Hispanics. So just because they decided to go with Sydney Sweeney for the ad doesn't mean they support white supremacy, because their stores, inside the stores themselves, the website would say otherwise. These people are just fucking pathetic losers who look for politics in literally everything. And I don't use that word lightly, but these are the same people that find fucking celestial events and natural disasters as racist. Like, oh, why did it only destroy the black populated areas? Oh, the lunar eclipse? Well, black people couldn't see it. So you're calling a fucking eclipse racist? Let me just go up there and scold them and say, you don't want to be a racist, do ya? But it had nothing to do. It's just and it's not the first time. I think Brooke Shields did one back in the day with like the same context of having great genes. It has nothing to do with eugenics. It's not saying white people are a superior race. It's a play on words. Genes meaning genetics, and genes, what she's advertising. Saying that genes are passed down from parent to child. And in this case, sometimes that means very much like the actual genes. I mean, how many of you, before school starts, your mom or your dad is like, oh, here, I wore these genes and blah, blah, and genes being passed down from, or, you have a pair of genes and then you outgrow them and then your siblings able to. It's just a play on words. And these people are like, oh my God, she's a white supremacist. It's fucking ridiculous.
To give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
Da. She's like, no. If I have an issue you guys need to know, I'll talk about it. Again, people say the perfect woman doesn't exist. I think she might very well be the perfect woman. I don't know, just what I'm seeing and how she's responding, and how this woman's clearly trying to get her, riled up and trying to get her to say certain things, but Sydney's not falling for it, because unlike this person, Sydney's actually smart and she's talented. And this is what they're raging about, because this woman was incapable of getting an answer out of her, because she's like, I see the web you're laying here, and instead of stepping into it, I'm stepping back away from it. I'm staying my ground, rather. I'm not stepping forward and stepping into that little web that you've set for me. I'm standing my ground right here.
We should talk about Cassie. You got back together with Cassie. You spent some time in Cassie land.
I am.
I wondered if after the break and after the changes in your life since the last time you were Cassie, if you came back to that role with a different perspective on her character, her arc.
Mm-hmm. Well, Cassie and the whole world of Euphoria is now 5 years ahead. So all the characters are living in the real world. They're dealing with very real world life problems. And Cassie's just so much fun. She's so crazy. And I don't know if I can implement any of my own knowledge or life experiences to Cassie, because she's just so on her own plane and in her own world and thinks completely differently. It's such a fun roller coaster ride, because I'm getting to go to all these insane places. She's crazy. I thank Sam like every day for giving me a character like her in my 20s, because Sam put together a show of like a powerhouse lineup of really interesting storylines and characters, and being able to go back to Cassie and grow with her and go even crazier is such a treat. Like I always feel like I'm going home.
One thing we haven't talked about that you've talked about a lot, but I wonder how it's coming up now in your work is the way women actors and you are represented on screen. The early part of your career was defined by a lot of chatter about that, right? About, is it an empowering or not empowering, blah, 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 like expression.
In regards to my body?
Yeah, and like Cassie, I think, brought that out. And that doesn't really seem to be part of the story anymore. And I wonder if you feel like Hollywood is changing, or if it has to do with being in actor producer roles?
I think that the conversation around it is changing. I've always looked at a woman's body as a very beautiful, powerful tool. I transform my body for Christy. It's a challenge, but then also really amazing at the same time that we're capable of doing stuff like that and being able to tell stories through our body. And I've always looked at it that way. I've always looked at it as my body is another tool to tell this story.
How does using that tool change when you are more in the driver's seat as a producer? I mean, I'm thinking about The Housemaid. Like, there's a scene in that where you're in this home theater and you're wearing like a push-up bra. And it's just like, okay, this is
It's not a push-up bra, this is just my boobs.
Oh, wow. Fact check me.
Fact checking
That's
that.
just like a sports bra or something?
Yeah.
Good God. Okay.
I mean, she's wearing what she'd wear to bed. She's being comfortable. It's for herself. It's not for anybody else.
Great.
Yeah.
That, I mean, that's sort of where I was going with it, though, is that watching that scene, I had this feeling of there's a.
So she's hitting all the like left-wing talking points, you know, especially about female empowerment, and that's what they're all about. But they have no issue eating their own at all. It's insane. It's like they do with J.K. Rowling. They worship her, but then she says something they don't like, and suddenly she's literally the devil. You know, have all the talking points, right? You support the stuff that they use. You support the same stuff that they do, but then you step out of line by saying that, you know, biological men can't become women, or you know, you star in an ad about genes, but then refuse to disavow white supremacy, and suddenly you're literally the devil. They're just ridiculous.
A self-awareness and knowingness to this that, you know, it is a casual sweatshirt, her boobs are out, and then you're like, the wife comes in and like comments on it in this way that to me felt very like funny, letting Sydney use her body in this way, but also commenting on it in a knowing way that lets you know that we're all in on this joke. And I guess I wondered if that is a hallmark of having more control of the project.
I think so. I think that as time goes on, people will see that I'm way more aware of things than people think.
Can you say a little bit more?
I mean, if I say it, then I like to let the art speak for itself. I think that's where it's fun.
Okay, but you know that you are giving us permission to keep projecting a little bit. Like, we're gonna keep taking what you do and like putting it up on our board of like, what does Sydney think?
I can't wait to see what the board says.
Okay.
So you can kind of see the woman's attitude shift a little bit after she fails to get a reaction or a reply from Sydney. Like, again, you can see her face kind of contort into almost a frown at some points because she's incapable of getting Sydney to say anything about, oh yeah, I feel bad about this, and oh yeah, I can disavow that, and blah blah blah. And her not being able to get Sydney to bend the knee is pissing her off, because these people for the last 4 years have been used to that. They've been used to saying, oh, how do you feel about this? You don't want to be seen as this, do you? And people are like, oh my God, you're right. I don't want to be a racist. I'm so sorry. No, she's like, nope, I've got nothing to say. Nothing to say. But, she's hitting all the notes, at least for female empowerment, that the left has. Guess what? White supremacists don't believe in female empowerment. I mean, it's about as logical as the left saying the black white supremacist, you know? And yes, that black person's a white supremacist. Sure. But yeah, this was the interview that's got the left reeing and screeching again. And I thought, again, I thought it wasn't a big deal. I thought no one I thought the ads was not a controversy at all. That it was all made up by the right wingers. But the fact that they had to sit there and ask her about saying anything about it, or basically wanting to apologize. I guess there were more left wingers who cared about it than they initially said, huh? Anyway, good on her. Again, we need more people like her, because I'm sitting here, I still don't know her fucking politics. Because she talks about female empowerment, but she's not bending the knee. She's, so I still don't even know what way she leans. So, but we need more people like her. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.